Batman Superman World's Finest issue 24 finds the heroes of Earth 22 confronted by Darkseid. The Supermen know what is at stake here, telling the others to run. Batman tells David to get out of there and go and find help, since Gog's piece of the anti-life equation is calling for Darkseid, and keeping it away from him takes priority over everything. The Supermen attack the villain with everything they have, as Batman tells David to run for help, apologizing to the boy for getting caught up in all of this. Darkseid easily defeats both Supermen with his Omega Beams before the Flash tries to buy Batman some time. Batman tries to stop the speedster, but it's too late, as again, Darkseid bests another hero. The rest of the Justice Brigade try and stop the villain, who calls Wonder Woman and Green Lantern fools thanks to their careless ferocity. He smashes apart their weapons, telling them war is a cold game, but the grave is colder. David watches from the shadows as Darkseid confronts the Batmen, literally walking through them, as he tells whoever is still listening that he has come for the knowledge of the pretend god, and walls of flesh and bone like these heroes cannot shield what he wants. He finally makes it to Gog, beginning to try and extract the anti-life equation from his mind, as David confronts him, telling the villain that he will stop him. Darkseid knows that two Kryptonians couldn't, so what hope does this boy have? He asks him how he plans on besting the Lord of Apocalypse, since there is no way he can win. David knows there is one way, charging his staff and blasting Gog with it, killing the god and disintegrating his body. Darkseid turns to face David, but instead of attacking, he merely walks back towards his boom tube. David demands he not turn his back on him since they aren't done, but Darkseid thinks that a common error amongst those who oppose his machinations are that they are of a galactic scale, and there is nothing to be gained by wasting time on him and mere people like David. David screams that he is a hero and won, but Darkseid knows that they both know better than that, and until they meet again, all his nightmares will be that of Darkseid. Darkseid leaves the world, letting David celebrate their win, but Superman tells him they didn't win, since he murdered Gog in cold blood. David doesn't care, since he defeated two bad guys for the price of one and saved billions of lives doing so. Earth 22 Superman tells him that that's not the only measure of morality, since he crossed the line to repel Darkseid. Batman screams at the boy that he had other options, and he told him explicitly to go and get help since they could regroup, but instead he hid until he had no choice but to step up. David continues to defend his actions, telling the heroes he did what had to be done. But Superman tells him that that was the easy way out, and that doesn't make him a hero, it makes him a weapon. Shazam tells him that his actions have repercussions and they can't always predict the outcome, as Green Lantern believes that what he did there, he set an example that it's okay to kill, and that he has no clue where the dominoes might fall as a result. David still doesn't care, calling them all jealous since he delivered justice, not them, but Batman believes that he traded one killer for another. David asks what they plan on doing with him, whether it's throwing him in Arkham or the Phantom Zone, but Superman has no idea how to answer that question, causing David to leave, wanting them to come and find him when they have an answer. Superman confronts his Earth 22 counterpart, demanding to know why he didn't teach David better since he has to set an example, and people depend on him, but apparently that means nothing to this man. The Earth 22 Superman doesn't like being told he's not doing his job, wondering why this Clark thinks he doesn't care. Clark tells him that he has seen the future graveyard filled with heroes, but Batman stops him before he says any more. Clark demands that this Superman know what is coming for them, but Batman tells him that Earth 22 Superman's future is not his, and this world is not theirs. The Spectre suddenly appears, telling the heroes that it doesn't need to be their world, today or tomorrow. Batman finds it convenient that he shows up right now after the big battle, but Spectre tells him that his interference wouldn't have mattered as it all played out as destiny dictated, and now the crisis is over, so he needs to return Batman and Superman to their own Earth. Superman refuses to leave, wanting to know what becomes of David on this world. Spectre opens his cloak and shows them the future, showing them how Magog will murder the Joker after the villain gasses the Daily Planet. The people of Metropolis praise Gog for making them feel safe, calling Superman's moral code obsolete. Thanks to Superman already being broken by the death of Lois and his friends at the hands of the Joker, he retires from the world and heads to his fortress, his absence setting off a chain of events that leave the world a wasteland. As the vision ends, Batman tries to talk with Superman, telling Clark that it wasn't that this world's Superman wouldn't help, it's that he thought he wasn't needed. but he was wrong since every world needs a Superman. The heroes are taken back to the graveyard where an older David mourns his friends' deaths, telling the graves that this was all his fault and he is sorry. Superman meets with him, finally having an answer to what he wants from the boy. Superman tells him that he can't change what he did, but David can be tempered by the actions of their future, and David has to acknowledge his mistakes. So now he can burn his regrets and forge a better path and do better. Superman believes that he can do this, hugging his friend as both he and Batman are sent home to Earth Zero. David promises to do better and becomes Magog once more to help guide the next generation of Earth 22's heroes.